Good afternoon and welcome to another Tuesdays, TA Tuesdays, where we pull back the curtain on talent acquisition every second Tuesday to give you an idea of who we are and what we're about. This week, you're in for a treat. We go live and we have a conversation with Jan Strelak, who I hope I only pronounced his name correctly as well, or he'll let me know all about it when I bring him into the stream. So I'm going to bring him in. We're going to have a chat about networking engineering, jobs, culture, and life in general at Verizon. So, Jan, you are live.
Hello. Hi,
Welcome.
can you hear me, Keith?
I can indeed, loud and clear. Welcome to TA Tuesdays. I'm delighted you joined us. How are things?
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Things are doing good. Ostrava is very sunny and shiny today, even I would say. So
Nice.
all good here.
Nice. Well, look, Dublin has a fair bit of sunshine today after a horrific thunderstorm there yesterday. I've actually had to pull down the blinds here because it actually was blinding me. So happy days. So listen, Jan, like I said at the start, I just want to, the whole thing about TA Tuesdays, right, is to sort of get everybody familiar with our voices and our faces. Even if we're not recruiting a lot, whatever it may be, just to have a general conversation, pull back the curtain, so that people get to know us a little bit better, and then they'll know who they're dealing with then when we're out to market aggressively hiring again very soon. So Jan, you're based in Czech, and what do you normally recruit for? I know you look after the engineering side of things, don't you?
Yes, I do. So I'm based in Ostrava again, Czech Republic, which is the far east of our country, and I'm here in our Ostrava Center of Excellence for Network Engineering for Verizon Business. We've got about 550 employees here in Ostrava, so I think that's the second biggest Verizon location in EMEA, right after Reading. We've got one more location in Prague with about 120 employees. So Ostrava really is the center here, and we have mainly network engineers here. So teams managing that our customers, usually either big enterprise customers or either also small medium businesses, have their networks secured, reliable, fast. It's all going as it should. And if something happens, we are the ones that are jumping on, fixing it, getting on bridges, troubleshooting, looking for the right configurations of either a router or a switch or whatever you have. And that's usually what we hire. Besides network engineering, we also do some cybersecurity. We have our own service desk here because, of course, our network engineers need some communication support with the customers, and then also some service management. So it's quite a lot, but mostly we're dealing in network engineering.
You can breathe now after giving me that rundown on it, because that was a lot to take in. So
I tend to ramble sometimes when it comes to our office. I'm sorry.
No, absolutely not. That was a fantastic rundown. I mean, look, I can talk to you about Verizon Connect all day, and it's I ooze passion, and it's quite obvious that you're passionate about what we do there in the networks operations side of things as well. So what sort of hires have we made in that team? I mean, who have we got sitting out there at the minute? So have we got engineers, we've got architects and support engineers and the likes of, is it?
Yeah, so we do mostly network operations, meaning that when our customers already have then their Verizon networks, or they run on Verizon networks, we are the ones who are maintaining it. Making sure that the machine is well oiled, as some people say. We don't have any problems and issues with it. So that's what we deal with. But what we recently hired, for example, was a whole new team in cybersecurity. So a so-called SOC, or Security Operations Center, a team of, I believe, 15 people, all pretty much based here in Ostrava, and just one in Prague, reporting directly to the US, and they are managing one of our, or several of our customers' cybersecurity, or the back end of it. So again, making sure that all the transactions are secured.
So are the customers that these guys are supporting, then, are they local, as in across EMEA, or are they down APAC across the US? Are they global customers?
So these are usually very well recognized brands. It's usually global customers. So other corporations could be some maybe banks, retail shops, manufacturers. Big
Gotcha.
customers who usually if you go into any maybe shopping center, it's possible that they are running on Verizon devices, maybe routers,
Mm,
switches, access points, or it's at least being managed by us. It's usually brands that and we usually
mm.
communicate mostly in English, of course. And Yeah, the customers usually are present also in Ostrava, but we you probably provide help to the whole Europe or maybe globally
Yeah.
everywhere.
I think it's crazy. Obviously, before joining Verizon, I would have known too much about the business, obviously, but now I'm going around and it's Verizon this and Verizon networks, and we have our networks for Verizon. It's like, oh, I actually happen to work for Verizon. So you get the big proud head on you then as well when you're talking to people about it.
Yeah,
And then
yeah, it's funny.
when
It's
you,
funny. Sorry. I thought, before, internet is just this thing that exists around us, and we're all
yeah,
sort of okay that it's working, and you don't really think about how many
yeah.
people and work and effort is behind that feeling of, network or Wi-Fi is just provided everywhere.
Yeah, yeah, and it's hard to understand the work that goes on behind it, not just to get it up and running. So designing it, rolling it out, and actually supporting it and stuff like that as well. It's huge. You alluded to a couple of things there, what you normally hire for. So, like, I mean, normally you're coming out looking for the engineers, let's say, for example. I think you've just recently made a couple of hires in that space. But anyway, what do you normally, and if we have any engineers on here looking at this, right? If you were to throw out five pieces, what are you normally looking for?
Depending on maybe the complexity or seniority of the role. We sometimes hire tier one network engineers, we have tier one seniors, we have tier twos, tier two leads, we have tier threes. So it really
Right.
depends. There's a quite a bit there, meaning at least a good career pathway if you're
Mm,
starting, and that's pretty much our philosophy in hiring here. There's not that many companies that do network engineers quite as we do, so we tend to
yeah.
hire usually on a more junior level, around tier one level. So that's our most, I guess, hired role. Tier one network engineer is a
Mm,
standard, and we're open to all people,
okay.
especially if they know English very well, because I think that's harder to teach a language even more than to teach the technologies. Of course, we prepare people with a background either in education or if they even worked in a similar company
Yeah.
as us, for maybe one of our competitors. But we're able to actually teach people quite a lot. So we have people
Mm,
from all various backgrounds that somehow found their way into IT and networking or network engineering, and now they're thriving. So our approach is to usually hire people at the beginning of their career and hire
mm,
for talent,
okay.
and then develop the talent and fill a lot of those more senior roles, such as tier twos, tier threes, with our
Okay.
internal talent, with those that maybe came here a couple of years ago and
Okay.
are looking for the next opportunity.
So if we're, and that's one thing I love about Verizon and Verizon Connect. You may, and it leads into the part of the conversation to which I'm going into next in a second. But you know, you, you come in here and you probably have 90% of the skills and what we're looking for, and before you know it, there's a career path put in front of you. There's all sorts of continuous education and stuff like that as well. And before you know it, you're like learning so much. And it's amazing. And it just leads me on to job specifications, right? I have this
Mm,
conversation every time. I had it with Lib there last week. I had it with Brian. Job specifications can be very off-putting, right? You know, Sometimes people may look at it and go, "Oh, I'm not applying to that because I don't have
yeah.
ABC. They're looking for ABC. I don't have it. I have AB and a little bit of C." Engineers, relevant of level, right? Whoever's watching this now and they're coming from Cisco background or wherever it may be, and they've got good experience, but they're lacking a little bit of. Should they still come to talk to us, irrelevant of meeting all the asks on that job specifications?
Irrelevant to meeting all the job specifications, they should definitely reach out either via
Yeah.
email or LinkedIn. As I said, we we do have some requirements, but sometimes we also look for things that are not that easy to be written in a job spec. So we look for motivation. We want to know
Yeah,
what led to that. We want to know the story and what's behind it. So sometimes something is seemingly good looking on paper might not be that good, and it goes in reverse. So I
yeah,
think people should reach out, even if they're just considering starting a network engineering career.
yeah. Absolutely. Because you know yourself, you probably have people looking at this going, oh. So the message coming from Jan is, come talk to me. Your preferred method of contact then? Do you like people reaching out to you by email? Sometimes your inbox can get clogged up and you may not miss. What about people reaching out to you on LinkedIn as well, Jan?
I I don't have a preference. I do like an email because that usually doesn't get lost as much. But I don't mind even getting a phone call, getting an email or a LinkedIn message.
We'll leave your email address up here for the next couple of minutes, just so as everybody can get it. And let's make you famous. Let's get your inbox bombarded with people. So, look, a little bit moving away from the technology side of things and stuff like that as well, which sounds awesome. And I could actually stay here all day talking to you about it because and your passion is just what
I
gets
think we
me.
could ramble for a long time. I
Yeah,
think
we
so. Yeah,
could,
yeah.
we could, and LinkedIn will be in the background going, okay, now cut it. Um, Tell me a little bit about the culture there. You know, what's someone walking in day one? What's it like?
Yeah, that's a good question. So, I always describe it, and I've been doing that for a couple of years now, so I think that changed. But I always say, Verizon has been present in Czech Republic for quite a bit, 15, 20 years, but it was usually through other companies, outsourcing companies, other vendors. But only about 5 years ago, we started our own Verizon branches in Czech Republic,
Yeah,
and people actually became officially Verizon employees. So there's that sense of responsibility of these people. We just started something new. We have this center of excellence here just for about
hmm
5 years. It keeps growing. We started with about 320 people, and even through COVID, in those years we got to 550. So the center is growing. There's no doubt about it. And yeah. It's sort of like a mix of a startup meets a corporation.
I was
People are
going to say
still
that to you.
figuring out the processes,
Yeah, yeah,
how to how to even do some sort of something. On the other hand, of course, sometimes you run into a very process-driven corporate-like dynamic. So it's that.
sure.
This strange, funny culture that
Yeah,
I really like, and that's what I enjoy every day. So I think
I love
people
it.
are very lively here. They're not afraid to voice their opinions. We're used to making changes all the time in the office, so it's not something that is written in stone. I think that
Yeah.
we're improving all the
A,
time.
a couple of things I'm picking on what you're saying there in terms of, I think in terms of our culture, it's innovative, it's fast paced, and what I love is if you look at Verizon, if you step back a second and have a look, it's this massive organization with so many different moving parts, but yet we still got that. Verizon Connect as well is included in this in terms of the startup feel. So if
Yeah,
anybody's looking for that startup feel within a large organization where they have the security and I think we're a massive massively appealing to the likes of that. So look,
absolutely agree.
Jan, like I said, I'm just conscious of time, right? And this conversation could go on and on and on. I really am enjoying it. If you were to sort of part ways, right, and to summarize this conversation, anybody who doesn't match the job specifications, don't be afraid, don't be put off it. Talk to us, let us have a conversation, because like I said, there's things in there that we can't get into job specs. So, reach out to us. Your parting words of wisdom to any engineers sitting here watching this, even contemplating or thinking about, sending us an email. What would you say?
What would I say? I would say if you if you like to speak in English on a daily basis, you want to be in an intercultural environment with lots of foreigners in the office. You want to be in IT space, and you're interested in networking. Maybe you tried out some Cisco devices, played around with some sort of a tool for packet tracing. Then you're the right person to reach out, and happy to chat for 10, 20, 30 minutes, as long as you want.
Have a conversation. And just to close out on that as well, what you mentioned there about having a voice, for me, that's huge in terms of inclusion, right? So we've built this massive diverse teams and stuff like that as well, but having a voice for me is huge. Knowing that I can say something, whether it's to you or whether it's right up to our CEO, that our voice is heard and our opinions are respected as well. So I love that. So Jan, I really did enjoy it. I'm sorry I have to end this now. I don't really want to.
I'm sorry too.
Yeah, I really do. And I'm just conscious of your time as well. But look, maybe let's come back for a part 2 and have a more in-depth conversation about things in your world as well. So
I love that.
Yeah, let's get something penciled in, and we'll do a part 2 over the next couple of weeks. But Jan, for me, really do appreciate it. Thanks a million for your time. And I shall speak to you very soon.
All right, Keith. Thanks for having me, and have a good one.
See you later. Jan,
Bye-bye.
Thanks a million.
Cheers.
Take care. Bye. Wow. There you have it. I could literally talk to that chap for weeks on end. So look, again, like I always say, job specifications, don't be overly concerned about them. Come talk to us, and let's have a conversation and see where it goes from there. So every second Tuesday at 12 p.m, please come join us for TA Tuesdays. And every Friday, our Fireside Fridays, Tech Connect Fireside Fridays, goes live at 12 o'clock. From me to you, thanks a million. Enjoy the weather, and I'll see you in a couple of weeks.
This is our Verizon credo. It's inspired our culture for almost 20 years. Think of it as a note to self, our declaration of values, a guide for our day-to-day.
Everything we do, we build on a strong network,
systems, and process foundation.
We know our products
and can explain them to customers.
We make it easy for customers to do business with us.
By listening,
anticipating,
and responding.
Integrity is at the core
of who we are.
We know teamwork enables us to serve our customers better and faster.
We run to a crisis, not away.
We deliver superior customer experiences through our products and our actions.
This is our credo.
It keeps us grounded,
aligned,
doing the right things.
It's about who we are,
how we work,
and most of all, who we work for.
We focus outward.
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 We focus outward.
On the customer.